This is GH-Aviation, your authentic mouthpiece of all things aviation and more. My name is Elizabeth Chumwasasu. Today on the Aviator Marine Online News Review, we will be discussing a lot of interesting events that have happened in the aviation, tourism, and marine industry. We will be reviewing news from different media houses with regard to aviation, tourism, and marine. We will start with tourism news. The Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Dr. Ibrahim Mohammed Awal, has promised his readiness to work with tour operators in promoting domestic tourism. Domestic tourism in this COVID-19 era will be the game changer in promoting our tourism industry. As we all know, tourism is a very important GDP earner for every country. And Ghana is fortunate to have a lot of tourist sites, a lot of tourism potential that, if harnessed well, can be, if not the first GDP earner, it can be the second GDP earner. This is what the minister has realized, and he's ready to hold tour operators and all stakeholders in the tourism industry to build on restarting and promoting domestic tourism. You can read the full story on voyagesafrique.com. Another news in our tourism sector, this has to do with our creative arts sector. Have you realized that the content we see on our televisions nowadays projects something totally different from what was showcased previously, let's say about 20 years ago? In the news this week, we realized that two teenagers, one 18-year and 19-year-old, had killed a 10-year-old boy. When they were sent to the courts, from the prosecutor's briefing, it came out that the boys were watching a spiritualist on television. And the spiritualist was showing them how to become millionaires. After they finished watching this spiritualist, one told the other that he knows of another spiritualist in the Volta region who could help them achieve their dream. A call was made to the spiritualist, and she told them that you need to kill someone and bring 5,000 Ghana cedis. This is what propelled these teenagers to call on their friend, the 10-year-old, to commit this dastardly act. This is not just the end. Have you realized that content with regard to what we see on our tellies for our local movies also portrays something else? Now, when you log on to YouTube and you're looking at short skits from various media houses or various individuals projecting the Ghanaian way of life, being it comic or a true reflection of what society is, have you realized how women are projected? If you have not realized it, I am telling you today, most of the short skits we watch now project women with big buttocks. Is this what we want to teach our children? Is this what we are showcasing to our future leaders and the world at large of what Ghana sees beautiful women to be? I believe that in the creative arts industry, we need to look at our content creation, because television now is something that showcases what the world is about. Really, that is what we believe in. And a lot of children a lot of our future leaders are almost always glued to our TV sets, have access to the internet, have access to go on YouTube. Let's look at our content creation in the creative art industry. Let's project our culture. Let's talk about what Ghana is really about, what we stand for, and stop stereotyping, be it a woman or a man. There is a video of an interview between Fela Makafui and Dr. Likey, the new sensation in town. And when he was asked the reason why he uses women with big buttocks, listen to what he said.
Too much. Too much. No say serious, no don't compare talk well to a say there. We don't go on put here on mission and you say no my basa. Say to on ko anu. E to na mama subscribe, help grandma fa e to na edika. Mentima hwe to na.
Okra bibi so wo ya dai.
Ma subscribe.
Wa subscribe.
Nti we are then our audition ladies we dey ba we serious we.
Yo, die tie na say e adwuma me metimi tuka na me nam. Metimi hye oba me sema me pa cho kan pese me twa short video. Eto ya ade bi obia no obeka so ampeto.
Eto de ye.
Eto twe adwene e de ba ade so. Eto so timi na nipa bo form say taw.
So, Likey, for the records and for my viewers, Pacho will see upeto pa.
Oh, me momu die obi oni mi bia ni say but eto no die me de ye adwuma. The trap videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now why was one yam tundra to fache to kasawali moto ne just a rama moto ne.
We will move on to marine news. Are you in Ghana? Are you on social media? Have you seen a story going around showing dolphins washed ashore in the western region of Ghana? If you have not, I am here to let you know that yes, during the Easter festivities, there were some issues with regard to our marine industry. Fishes and dolphins alike washed ashore on the south coast of the country. We had instances where smaller fishes washed ashore dead in Accra, and also the bigger ones, those that washed ashore in the western region, were dolphins. And these dolphins died. But before they died, eyewitness reports states that they could see that the dolphins were in distress. The question you can ask yourself is, why did this thing happen? What is really happening at sea? Why did these fishes wash ashore and in distress and at the end of the day died? This is really something that as citizens, as human beings, we need to take into consideration. Preliminary research shows that the fishes were in distress. The smaller fishes that washed ashore in Accra had some slimy green liquids in them. The dolphins also looked very sick. Why is this thing happening? Are we really taking care of our water bodies? Did this happen because of a certain mining activity? Because believe you me, if we don't ask ourselves these questions and find solutions to them, 10 years down the line, we may not have even one fish to enjoy. And this can be a very detrimental act for the human race. Please, let's be careful. Let's take our hygiene seriously. Let's protect ourselves and our water bodies. We'll move on to aviation news. There's been a lot of news in the aviation industry this week. but I'll just touch on a few. Government of Ghana advances plans to upgrade Tamale Airport into an international status. This was made known by the Minister for Transport, Kweku Ofori-Esiama. He was of the view that even though the second phase of the project, worth $80 million was yet to be completed, he had a conviction that the third phase, that was going to turn the airport into an international airport, was going to happen soon. For you to read the full story, you can log on to www.richardshire.com. In another news, Kumasi Airport to be ready next year. Phase 2 and Phase 3 of the Kumasi Airport project will be completed next year. This was made known to us by the Minister of Transport, Kweku Ofori-Esiama. He explained that the Phase 2 of the project was going to be completed this year, but because the Phase 3 had been added, it will be completed next year. For you to have a fair view of the entire story, kindly log on to aviationghana.com. These are things that are happening in the industry, and there are news outlets that capture these things, and it will be great for you to just glance through all these news portals and have a fair view of how the industry is faring. Let's move on to news in Africa. Kenya Airways suspends flights from Nairobi to the UK. Kenya Airways has suspended all his flights leaving Nairobi to the UK and vice versa. This has affected passengers who are also transiting through Nairobi to the UK. This development came into being when the UK government put Kenya on a red list of countries who were not allowed to fly into the UK. Kenya Airways responded to the UK to look at the reciprocity agreements between the two countries and think it through. But the UK has their stance and they are keeping to their stance. Airways has suspended all its flights indefinitely till an agreement is met with the UK government. The full story can be read on www.gh-Aviation.com. You need to understand that COVID-19 has brought a lot of issues to countries all over the world. And this, unfortunately, has affected the aviation industry greatly. Countries are being put on the red list just because other countries are trying to work around how to curb the pandemic in their countries. And this really has affected all airlines in the world. Thus, COVID-19 is almost bringing the industry on its knees. In our session today, I'll leave you with some simple words. COVID-19 really has wreaked havoc in the society, but we are not losing hope. The industry would rise again. We would recover from this pandemic. Our creative arts industry, let's advise our content creators. Let's create content that speak well, positively of what our society is all about. Because our children are the future leaders who are going to take Ghana to the peak of what we are looking for. Aviation industry, we will rise again, as I've said before. For the marine industry, let's be citizens and not spectators. Let's take our hygiene seriously. Let's protect our water bodies. And 20 years by now, we would all still be alive, strong, and hearty in spirit. Let me see you on Friday for another episode. It's bye-bye. This is GH-Aviation, your authentic mouthpiece of all things aviation and more. And you join me on the Aviator Marine Online.